Well, I would like to welcome you, Ryan Kittrell, with Kittrell and Klaskin LLC CPA firm in Wichita, Kansas, to the Business Spotlight interview today.
Thank you, Lee. Thanks for having me.
We're really glad to have you. And I have had some time to meet with you prior to our interview. I think you have a pretty interesting story.
Thanks.
So how about if we get right to it? And I have some questions prepared to ask you.
Okay.
And I think that if you want to add anything to them as we go along, that's perfectly fine, but we'll just see how it goes from there. So Ryan, what do you do now and for how long? But if you wouldn't also mind telling a little bit of the history, because you have some other history that builds up to what you do today. So what you do and for how long, and then how you got here.
Okay, sure. Right now I'm the co-owner of Kittrell and Klaskin LLC. We're a CPA firm. We provide bookkeeping and CFO services. We've only been in business for a little over a year and a half. Prior to that, Lisa and I have decades of experience in public corporate government accounting. Myself, I spent about 12 years prior to this at the VA, serving veterans in the fiscal department, and a couple of supply chain departments over there, and then ending up as the CFO. Prior to that, I was at BKD, which is now Forvis. They're a public accounting firm, national public accounting firm now. Did I say they're now Forvis?
Yeah,
Okay.
Interesting name. I did talk to somebody there and they said it's Foresight Vision is the two words together, Forvis. Yes.
Yeah, I heard Forward Vision.
Yes.
Spent 3 busy seasons there. And before that, I was in the military, United States Air Force. Let me go back. Before that, I went to WSU, majored in accounting. And before WSU was when I was in the military, Air Force enlisted, working on F-15s.
See, I think that's such a fascinating story. And I love the what you did in the military. Thank you for your service. And also Go Shockers, Wichita State University, and also actually serving the military through the veterans VA. We have a very large veterans footprint here with the Dole, Robert Dole Veterans Center.
Right.
And that is, proud to be a part of that. I'm glad that you were part of that. So thank you.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was it was a very fun time at the VA, and that was the highlight, was serving veterans. Great experience. And now I'm here to serve small businesses.
I love that. And then you also have that BKD experience, which I'll just tell our listeners that you have to be pretty smart to be at BKD. So there you go too. You know what I mean? Give you that. Well, thank you for that. That's good. So now I know you've been in the business, you've started this business. So you're an entrepreneur and a CPA, which, think about it. You're very entrepreneurial because you've taken this step. And I know you're still trying to get clear on it, but no, I know you're clear on it. What is your ideal customer, or who's your best customer? If they walked in the door and said, "Hey, Ryan, this is what we need," what would you just light up about?
Okay. Our ideal customer, we serve service-based businesses, so not construction or manufacturing.
Okay.
We like our customer is engaged with their financials. They're eager to use their financial information to make informed decisions. They see the value in that process. Our best customers are also, in today's day and age, they're comfortable with technology. We're a QuickBooks, for the bookkeeping side of things, we're a QuickBooks Online firm. We have meetings remotely. We have an office location, but we also are able to meet remotely over Teams and Zoom. But really, it's about that engagement, because with our CFO services, our budgeting, cash flow, variance analysis type stuff, we really need our customers to be, we want to be a partner with them, giving them the financial information and data that they need to make good decisions for their business. So our best customer is wanting to do just that.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, as an action coach and a business owner myself, I absolutely appreciate the fact that you're engaged in the numbers, the today numbers, because taxes are, you can't do anything about it after, sometimes people don't get to their taxes for 18 months and you can't make financial decisions based on that history.
Right.
So I think you have to look at today, and then it's going forward, and the variances are ways for people to be alerted so they can respond instead of have to react. So on behalf of all the action coaches in the world, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. And also, you said you have the local office here in Wichita, Kansas. I know you have virtual clients all over, so you're not limited to Kansas when you serve your clients, right?
Right. Yep. We provide the option. So we love our local clients, but we also like serving our clients that are as far away as California, New Mexico.
Okay.
So
good. I think that's important for people to know. So you really didn't have anything impacting your business COVID. You sort of started business after COVID. Would you say you've had that had any impact on what you've done in your business?
It did. So you're correct. We started about mid 2021. So kind of the pandemic, please cut this out.
Okay.
The pandemic we're on the tail end of it. But so we did make decisions in deciding how we were going to go about our business because of COVID. So the remote aspect, we definitely wanted to make sure there was a remote aspect where we could meet with our clients. We also, we only have one employee right now, but they can work at home or in the office. So we've got them set up both ways. And Lisa and I are set up to basically work from everywhere. So we have all of our, we're cloud-based.
Okay. Okay. That's definitely a benefit of COVID was that I have a whole setup at home as well. And, if there's an ice storm, my clients aren't going to be out anyway. So we're both going to work from home someplace. So we can do that today. I think that's one of the good things that came out of that pandemic.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
And lucky for you, you were able to make that decision and didn't have to shift. You could just see what everybody else did and move right into it. So good. Well, as a business owner, what do you think your biggest learning has been so far?
Yeah, Lee, this one's very easy. It's networking and sales. So I guess I had this naive idea that we would just have clients knocking on our door. That's not the case. You really have to develop trust with clients, and it takes them a long time to decide that they're able to trust you with their financial information, their business information. So networking, I've definitely had to work on those skills, and sales, developing relationships with prospective clients. And it's not all just sitting at the computer working a spreadsheet.
Right. Yeah, that's more working on the business actually than in the business even. And I'll tell you, Ryan, you're in really good company when you thought you would hang out your shingle and everyone would come knocking. It isn't that way. But you've learned that very early on, and you're already pivoting and doing some things, because I know we talked earlier about some of the marketing and networking strategies you have in place. So you're doing the right things. But thank you for sharing, because I know that can be vulnerable to say, even as a business owner, a smart CPA with a lot of life experiences still didn't know everything to know about business. And that's pretty common. So, well, I'll ask you if you have anything you want to offer in the newsletter also, because we do a newsletter. But I also wanted to ask you, what's your favorite business book? Or do you have a business book you're reading now you could recommend to people who are listening to this interview?
I do. So can I answer? I'll answer both of those questions.
Absolutely.
My favorite business book as of now, and it changes, is E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. A lot of us as entrepreneurs, we do this for one of the reasons is because we want the freedom to kind of make our own decisions, be our own boss. Then we realize fairly soon into engaging as being an entrepreneur that you're wearing all the hats. You're taking on a lot more than you kind of thought you were going to, as in my example, the sales and the networking. So E-Myth Revisited really talks about developing your business as if it were going to be franchised. So as if you don't have to work in your business that way. So if you do that, eventually you get to the point where you're kind of only working on the stuff that you're actually passionate about, and you do actually achieve the goal that you initially sought to achieve in having that freedom and working on the things that you're passionate about. So
I read that book a couple of times, and I've actually had a book club where I read it together with some other business owners, and boy, was that a great, you did a very nice summary of that book. But when you read it with other people going through the same thing and they see something, and it was just a great experience to do that. I'm glad you recommended that book. I think that's good. And you'll want to come back to it, because in a couple of years you'll be at a different level and learn new things from it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I the one that I'm reading now, and I'm only halfway through it, but it's They Ask You Answer by Marcus Sheridan. I don't know if
I can't believe you're reading that book. I'm reading that book too.
Oh, it's so crazy because it's so simple to me, basically the idea behind the book is so simple, but I never thought of it. Tell the customers what, give them the inside scoop, tell them the truth, tell them, blog, get that information out there about how it really works in your business, the goods, the bads. And again, it goes back to trust.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, in that book, he even talks about tell them your price.
Yep.
And I actually took that to heart and published my prices more so than I even ever have, because I'm like, oh, they're going to know my price. Well, I don't care. I'm glad they know my price. It's not anything I'm hiding.
Yeah. So. And I'll tell you what, Lee, as a small business owner, when I'm looking at a vendor site and I don't see the price, it's a turn off, and because I don't necessarily want to go through an hour-long demo or something if I know that that specific thing is not in my budget.
Mm-hmm. That's really good. Good. Appreciate you sharing it that way. That's good. So what do you find most inspiring about your industry? So you've been in the accounting world in one fashion or another, but what do you find most inspiring about this industry of accounting as a whole?
The industry of accounting as a whole, we're in a definite disruption period right now for accounting. We have the traditional firm model, billing hourly, lots of hours during busy season, and we have lots of these virtual firms popping up, and everybody's doing things differently. We also have technology taking hold. There's lots of investment in kind of the bots and just automating a lot of the processes. So it's a really interesting, kind of fascinating time for the accounting space as a whole. One of the things that is kind of coming out of that is the client accounting services. So, or the client advisory services. The A is interchangeable, but now accountants can because of technology, because of the kind of the disruption that's happening, they can focus more on being those advisors to the small businesses instead of, spending most of their time crunching the numbers. Mm-hmm. Looking at the past, they can now help business owners look to the future. And that's kind of what we do at Kittrell and Klaskin with the CFO services, is we kind of look to the future and help people with kind of whatever I love helping them try to achieve their goals, whether it be increasing their cash flow, controlling their expenses, getting some savings, increasing their distributions to themselves.
Mm-hmm. Oh, love that.
That's all stuff we like to help our clients with. Again, it's not, focus on past information and give it to the business owner. That's part of it, but mm-hmm. also let's use this information to project into the future and help us be a little bit more resilient of an organization.
Mm-hmm. I love that. You also mentioned when we were talking before, the IRS is of course they're always doing major changes, and with all these things the government did during the pandemic has impacted us in many ways, but you also mentioned that there's how many agents coming on to start managing the numbers that were providing the government. What did you say that number was?
87,000.
Okay, woo, I'm excited about that.
So, the jury's still out. I know that they've come out with it was a large budget, a large sum of money. I don't remember the amount was provided to the IRS to be used to increase customer service, which I really hope they do because it's very hard to get a hold of them.
Sure is.
And also increase their audits. So, and I think that's the 87,000 number.
That will talk about disruption, right? On top of everything else you're dealing with.
Right.
That is a lot. Well, one of the things we do for the spotlight for our clients is if you have something you want to offer to them, it needs to kind of be forever because someone might run across this video in a couple of years. But is there an offer that you could provide to anybody that would like to reach out to you and learn more about what you do, or if you might be a good fit for them?
We can do a 1 hour strategy session,
okay,
which would be free, and we can, out of that hour, we can talk strategy, see what their goals are, and I can provide, even if we don't take them on as clients, at least they get that hour strategy session and kind of I can provide some points going forward that they could utilize to hopefully help them get them to where they want to be.
Good. And you get to do what you love to do, helping people.
Right.
It's a win-win there. So, well, the last question I have, unless there's anything you'd like to add.
There is one thing I want to add, Lee.
Okay.
Along those lines, I also mentor with SCORE.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we've talked about this before.
No.
But I just became a full mentor probably a month ago, but I had no idea about SCORE. And I think that there's probably a lot of business owners, newer small business owners, or people that are thinking about starting a business but have no idea. So score.org or score.wichita.org, great place to go. And there's some fantastic mentors there in the Wichita chapter that are doing some great things for some businesses.
I recommend people to SCORE a lot.
Okay.
Maybe 2 or 3 times a month I do, because they're not ready for coaching because it may not even be a business yet. And they need to put some foundations together, and that I love SCORE. I think, and the passion, you're a mentor, so someone gets you, could get you if they participate in what SCORE offers. So you really have a giving side to you, don't you?
I do. Well, again, it goes back to, I do enjoy seeing small business owners succeed. So
me too. And I like,
sounds cheesy, but
right. I love seeing them get paid well for what they do, because all the risk is on them. You can go to work at Spirit and go home and go to sleep. When you run a business, you've got families to feed and a lot of decisions to make. So I'm with you on that one. Well, so what would be the best way for people to find you? If you want to give us your website, your phone number, your email, or whatever else you want, ways you want people to find you. I know you're on LinkedIn, so they can just do Ryan Kittrell and find you on LinkedIn if they can connect with you that way. What are the other ways they can reach you? So
our business website is Kittrell Klaskin CPA.com. So that's KITTRELL KLASKIN CPA.com.
Okay.
Kind of a long one. And then my phone number, 316-352-7112.
Okay.
And then finally, my email is Ryan at our website. So KittrellKlaskinCPA.com.
Perfect. That's great. Well, I really appreciate your time today. And I learned a lot. I love what you're doing with the mentor and with SCORE, and the way you're approaching what you do in your business. It's exciting. Hopefully you'll be hearing from some people who, or at least they'll learn about you and know what you do. And I personally would like to visit with you again after this interview. So okay. Yes, thank you again. And I will be in touch. I am Coach Lee with Action Coach Business Coaching. And this has been a spotlight interview with Ryan Kittrell with Kittrell Klaskin CPAs. Take care, Ryan.
Thanks, Lee.
Bye-bye.